How's everybody doing? So today I'm going to discuss two stories, one being about somebody who's trying to get over a breakup, wants to get back with their ex. And then I'm going to tell you a success story of someone that I coached that successfully got their ex back that I talked to and worked with a little bit on how to go about that. They both are of very similar age and efforts and whatnot. So let's see. I'm bringing up the chat box. Okay, here we go. So I'm going to get into my stories. I'll answer one question. What do you got? Coach Landry, what's your favorite love movies and why? And you said your fear was flying. Where do you plan to go? And will you do a shirtless live session for us ladies? First of all, I'm going to NOLA. That's a given. I got invited to New York on my last video. If you saw that, that was really cool. They're going to give me hotel and everything. So I'm looking for someone to take with me. And I want to go to Venice and Paris, and I plan to do that in 2020. It's like new decade. I'm going to do it, overcome it. Speaking of France, I want to give a shout out to La Table, a French restaurant here in Houston. What a place. Highly recommended. You can find them on my Facebook. I have a post about them. To the movies, Meet Joe Black. I like the elegance in which the two care for each other. Casablanca, because it shows how women and men work in simplicity. And Top Gun, because it's, in the end, the woman comes to him, expresses good feminine energy, which tells him she's putting in effort and reestablishing her connection with him. To your shirtless comment, if you will give me $100 to my favorite charity, I'll do shirtless right now. Okay, deal. But I'm going to get into my story when I do this. I feel like what is that, Canadian Weather Channel? Okay, I don't know if I'm going to do shirtless the whole time, but I'll do it hold on. There you go. I hope that helps. Oh, I didn't flex long enough? I'm sorry. There you go. Okay, so we're going to talk about practicing emotional intelligence. And I just took off my shirt, so I don't know if I'm practicing emotional intelligence, but I'm going to read you a story from somebody who's, we flex again. There you go. I'm going to read you a story. I'm 36. I'm wanting to have a baby. Bear with me on my long story. I'm in great shape. Great job. Right. So many times, but dating men has been a train wreck so many times. So many of them just have turned me off. They seem to beg or are too nice and are good men, but not intelligent. It's annoying. You really are right up that alpha men are in short supply. I had an alpha guy, but messed it up. We went through a month or two of constantly fighting, and I wasn't strong enough at the time of the split, and I messed it up. He listened, was there for me, but he was a lot. What do you say? But he was a lot to live up to. So I got insecure during the fight and broke it off. All right. You're so handsome. Thank you. Now I regret that decision and went back to an ex I dated 6.5 years before him. I know what an idiot. That lasted 3 months. And although the ex is a good guy, I realized I want more from life that when him and I had for those 6.5 years, he wasn't as intelligent and I had changed in what I wanted, which brought me back to thinking about the guy I broke it off with. It's just not the life I want. And I realized I should have never gone back to my ex of 6.5 years. My heart wasn't in there. Long-term relationships often aren't. Because, usually you grow out of them, which you should. Women usually go back to them for safety. But she continues, my heart was with the new guy. I dated him for 2 years. Anyways, back on the dating scene for the past 3 months, I realized that he was the best thing to happen to me. He pushed me to be a better version of myself, like you say, and I owed him more than running away from the problems. Okay. Than running away from the problems. After all, I was a part of them. He put up with a lot of my crap. Guys usually do. I got a little hurt and insecure, and he reached out a few times trying to get me back or trying to get me to talk, but I was hurt. I ignored him, went about life like I'll be okay, and then made the stupid decision to revisit my past relationship before him. I want him back. I cry myself to sleep wishing for him, sometimes around the other guy. Is it too late? I would like to see him again. It's where my heart is. He's got a lot going for him. I don't know if he would even talk to me at this point. How do I make the first move to ignite this again? First off, you were selfish. So you need to admit that. I mean, it sounds like you were pretty selfish with this guy. Will you please flex again? This is a first for me. But I'll go with it. I'm having a good day. I did P90 actually right before I came over here. Is it worth fighting for? If it is where your heart is, there's a couple different ways you can go about this, right? Look, women long ago used to drop a handkerchief a handkerchief to get a gentleman's attention. Women would drop them on purpose so that men would go, oh, let me get that for you. This did a couple of different things. One, it made a man feel chivalrous, that he could pick it up. He was doing something for you, and it gave a woman a chance to talk to a man. So what I'm saying is women have been picking up on men and making the first moves for hundreds of years. So if you don't think that you should call him, you're crazy. Another way I recommend, and this is a unique thing, and a lot of coaches talk about that, is have your best friend message him on Facebook or call him. Let her talk to him for you. And she'll find things out in a non-judgmental way that might kind of help you a little bit. So, I mean, it's something for you to think about, what you might want to do there. And she'll know. Look, he still loves you. You should contact him, followed up by you, obviously, if your friend gets any kind of response. But overly emotional people, and that's what you kind of sound like about your situation, tend to run when things get hard or exhausting. They overthink it when the answer is usually in front of them, and it's usually the person they're trying to work it out with. So be strong. And the person that's willing to work it out with you, you should probably contact them. Now, it sounds like, if I'm reading your stuff right, it's been about 4 months since you two have talked. People live in their heads, okay? So, and the relationship took a hit. But like I say, don't believe, I'm not a big believer in rules, but I am a big believer in principles. And I believe in good energy and intelligence and nature, emotional intelligence. In other words, if you watch my videos, science backs up anything longer than 5 years. So that previous relationship you went to, don't go back. It's never going to be the same. Anything over 5 years, any kind of, if you were engaged and broke it off, if you lived with someone permanently for more than a year and moved out, if you lived, it'll just never, it'll never be the same. There's resentment built in there, whether you realize it or not. And when you go back to it, typically the first 6 months will be fantastic and whatnot. So it's once all that wears back off and you get back to the root. Okay. So that's my advice on that. And that's someone who's in progress right now that I'm working with. But what I want to tell you next is let's see, Jordan. So I worked with someone named Jordan, and what's awesome about Jordan is Jordan had a great attitude when I worked with her and talked to her, and she stayed strong the whole time. But I'm going to read you her letter that she was okay with me sharing. And I asked her if I could, if she didn't mind everybody hearing her information. And this is published publicly. And she let me know, hey, I wrote my story about how you helped me and whatnot. So she sent the stuff to me. She writes, how how and why I got my ex-boyfriend back. Well, I want to start off by saying that the mind is a really powerful tool. Coach Landry showed me how to use it properly, and wow, can amazing things happen in your life when you do. So I had been with my boyfriend for a really long time. We really loved each other. 2 years. She was with him for 2 years. Our relationship was amazing. He made me feel amazing, and I really thought I couldn't be happy without him. But what I realized is that may not be true unless you put some hard work. So imagine how shocked I was when he suddenly broke up with me because he wasn't feeling the relationship. I was devastated, heartbroken. I really loved him, and I hadn't realized how much I loved him. Thank you. I hadn't realized how much I loved him until he broke things off with me. And that's common. Sometimes you think, you know what? F you. Take off. I ain't got time for this. You're going to be like this. And then when they're gone, you're like, oh my God, what have I done? That's the best person I ever met in my life. I want to talk to them right now. So missed him so much to the point I would call him and block my caller ID, but I wanted to get his voice message so I could hear his voice again. Let me tell you something right now. Any woman who is in love with a man's smell and voice, that is the man you're supposed to be with. Science says women who get attached to voices and smell is because there is a natural connection. To make it worse, he started becoming romantically interested in someone I knew. The person asked me if it was okay with it. I told her I was, but to be honest, I really wasn't. This is when I started hating myself because I felt like I lacked. She didn't, and this is one of the things we talked about. That's when I realized that if I want something, I'm going to have to go get it for myself. Coach Landry told me nothing is sitting and waiting. Everything is sitting and waiting to be caught. True. Now, what this doesn't mean is you don't run over there. You don't run over there and, constantly barrage someone. And I taught her, she kept asking me, why isn't this man like chasing me back down? And I said, alphas don't chase. They don't. Right? And alpha is not going to chase you. Beta males who are very possessive will chase you constantly to the end of time. And at some point they'll stop. But as soon as you give them a crumb, they'll be all over you again. Those are possessive beta males. Okay. Enough was enough. I couldn't continue dwelling in my misery. I had to do something. Anything. I've flexed like 3 times. I kept having negative thoughts. One of the things that I learned is that if you want to attract back someone you love, it's not about them, it's about you. If you want to attract love, you need to vibrate love. Start by loving yourself so that you can love the person you want even more. Coach Landry took me in depth in how to handle that. Totally true. You got to be happy with yourself. Now, the problem is a lot of people who aren't happy with themselves, they lose the person they love because of their mental makeup during that period, only to have to go fight and try to get it back later to make it proper. Now, someone's asking in the chat, should you try? Of course. When you mess something up, some people are like, oh, you messed up, just move on. Not if your heart's in it. If your heart's there, you need to go back to it. So every morning when I rose, I would get up. Coach Landry taught me to stand in the mirror and tell me how much I love myself in a self-esteem way. It sounds silly, but it worked. It really makes you appreciate yourself. I also listed all the positive things about myself. I would also affirm that me and my boyfriend were back together. Another lesson Coach Landry taught me. You want to think about what you want, not obsessively in some weird way, but you want to tell yourself, we are going to be back together. Our hearts are made for each other. And because of that, we will find our way back. Any couple who loves each other. Now you might say, well, he doesn't love her. He walked away. He needed time to think. And then he got tired of the relationship. He walked away. That's not true at all. That has nothing to do with it. Keep listening to her letter. I decided I needed to do what was best for me. So I began doing things that made me happy. I also realized that I didn't need anyone to make me happy. I'm the captain of my life, and that I needed to take a change. Now, what's the lesson here right now? you don't have to make a change that makes you lose the person you want to be with. You can change and grow. It's called growing together. That's why you should be with someone who pushes you to be the best version of yourself. Okay. Another important thing I learned about attracting the one you love back from Coach Landry, you have to be willing to let go. It sounds crazy that you have to let go of the thing you want the most, but if you keep missing him or wanting him, you will send vibrations to the universe that you are lacking, and the universe will only give you what you attract, which is lacking. Okay. So does that mean she shouldn't try to get him back? Absolutely not. Whenever you're ready to initiate contact, you did. What she realized is she wasn't ready, and that she needed to do some things for herself so that she would be stronger when she reached out to him. Okay. This is how the law of attraction works, Coach Landry showed me. You need to have faith and believe that once you've asked for something, you will receive it. Just be expectant and let it go. Believe that the universe has your best interest at heart and give it all to the universe. That makes the manifestation process faster. You know, for some people, this happens really quick. For other people, it does not. Okay. The very next day, I went out with my friends for drinks. We went to a popular place in my local area and walked around. I know he usually goes to the area as well. That's where I saw my ex. I stayed calm, even saw him flirting with other girls. Before I had started using the law of attraction, this would normally really upset me. Instead, I learned about the laws of attraction with Coach Landry and learned so this would not affect my emotions. I just continued to have positive thoughts, and I decided that I would let him have fun. But I also approached him that evening and said, "How are you doing? You have no idea how much I've missed you." And with a smiling, charming way, nothing possessive, nothing letting him know that I'd been hurting, even though I had. When I got home, I reflected on how much fun I had talking to him again, and that this was the happiest I'd been since the breakup. I handled it well, and if he didn't call me back, I was going to be okay. But I knew I would eventually get him back. I realized that, wow, I am happy. I am a better version of myself. I can make our relationship twice as good as the last time I saw him. That same night, I got a call from him, and he told me about how much he missed me and wanted to get back together. I was in shock, and I burst into happiness. I mean happiness. I ran a circle in my room when we hung up the phone. I didn't know what to do with myself. That's how happy I was. I had finally heard the words I've been wanting to hear for so long. I had finally gotten to hear him. I could never be more grateful for this man. And now my relationship with him is even better than it was before. Him breaking up with me taught me to love myself and now understand that I don't need someone else to be happy. I can just be happier I can just be happier with that person in my life. Coach Landry helped me lock down the ability to handle the change I was going through, yet still get the person in my life that I love the most back. Wow. Even right now, I'm still in a state of ecstasy just thinking about it. I'm overjoyed. Am I going to have struggles with this man? Sure. But now I'm more than ready to tackle them than ever. If I can do this, so can you. Everyone has got the power. You just have to believe and get guided by the right people. What a story. I mean, that is just amazing. And I just think that I just think that that's amazing. That's an amazing story. I was trying to make sure I had finished all her stuff. But Jordan was a woman who had great intention, and she realized that running around and dating and going back to someone she had dated before was not going to satisfy what was in her heart. What was in her heart was to be with this man. And although he had called it off with her and she was deeply hurt and had given up and walked away at a certain point, she took the time to look in herself and decided if she could get herself right. Now, some people might go, oh, so you have to change yourself to be someone. She wasn't what she needed to be. She wasn't at her best. So he was never getting her best. And that changed everything when she brought her best back to him. He saw it. He felt it. And he wanted to do something about it. Masculine energy is focused, mission-oriented. When he saw what he liked, He wanted to do something about it. Feminine energy is connecting, communicating, and letting know someone that you cherish what you have and that you want to make that connection stronger. That's strong feminine energy. So what does this tell you? This tells you a couple of things. It tells you, one, that, if you will donate to my favorite charity, I will take off my shirt and do some muscle flexing for you. That what? Turn it. And that you can have what you want. Okay. So for my male viewers, I'm sorry if you're looking at me without a shirt off. I did this for charity. And they did send the $100. They just sent a screenshot to me. So I believe them. My favorite charity is listed should be on my YouTube page in the community section. These are two good stories, right? One story is progress. A woman is starting to gear up to want to do this. Whereas the other is kind of getting in the mode of wanting to do it. And then whereas the other, like I said, did it. She successfully followed the principles that I talk about to make someone you love. Love takes some correction sometimes, right? Don't go back. What's my principles I say in my videos? If you dated someone longer than 5 years, if you lived with them permanently more than a year and moved out, if you were engaged and the engagement called off, that is a cooked relationship. You can go back to it. It will fester. It will have things that come back up and it will mess you up again. So that all depends how you look at it. Next would be because you need to know when it's time to re-engage. And if you're a woman, you need to get that good, strong feminine energy back in you and bring that to him. Now, what she did is she saw him out and she asked him out. So what would you do if you physically didn't see the person and you just wanted to ask them out? You would go up to, up a level and reach out to him and let him know, I have missed you so much. Is there any way you would meet me for dinner, coffee this evening, tomorrow? Give about a 2-day option. But really, if you hit him up, you want to try to get him the day of. You don't want him to have time to think about it and pull back out the next day. Giving space of thought after that much time sometimes doesn't work. For men, you want to be patient. Okay, patience pays off greatly with women. I mean, it really does. So you really want to do that. I hope this story was really good. Jordan was a absolute blast to work with. She really put the time in. She really focused on it. She didn't fight things. She didn't think she already knew things. And she's a very intelligent woman. Master's degree, educated, good looking, had every reason to walk away from this guy and just say, look, you're an asshole. You told me you want to take time and that how'd she put it? That he wasn't filling her relationship, their relationship anymore. Relationships suffer temporary hits. And I always tell people they can last from a week to 2 months. And you've got to stand in there and see your way through it. Eventually, it will give. Now, if it's toxic, if it's unhealthy, sure. But we're talking about, two people that do possess love for each other in a healthy way. And you can usually tell who that is by just the way you talk to each other. She even told me something they had said to each other where he got really nasty and cussed at her. And I told her, shit happens. If you love him, it does not matter. Get over it. Okay. And one of the things that she had to learn that she just was not accustomed to was she had an alpha male and didn't realize it until she wasn't with it. And the woman in the first email to me, she dated a guy longer than 5 years. She was all your basic stuff that women do. And I made it very clear to her, you turn back to your safety net, unfortunately. And safety nets start off good in bed. Start off good, run into the same problems again. And she just was, at first refusing to pick up on that. But if I go back to her stuff, and this is the one that's in progress, because, so one of the things I told her was, because what you are really doing when you go back to an ex from that far back is you're using them for a safety net and making it work and accepting the things that didn't work about y'all because it selfishly helps you. What you really want is the guy that's a risk, an alpha, intelligent, ambitious, and the one that will make your life grow. Don't let rough patches turn you away if they're willing to work with you. Similar to Jordan's circumstances. And Jordan, like I said, this girl was calling and trying to get, the guy on trying to get him on the phone or whatever. And that's what I'm saying. That's what's important about it, right? Is you have to realize exactly. I got a comment. You have really nice arms. You have that like slender cut build. Yeah. Well, in some ways. Thank you. Look, for those joining, I took off my shirt for charity. I hope this helped you guys. I get more emails about trying to get an ex back. My ex just dumped me. We've all been there, including myself. We all want to try really hard, and some people get obsessive about it, and they try for weeks, months on end. The best thing that you can do is a lot like I showed Jordan. You make a couple of efforts, and you make very strong efforts when you do. And you don't need to, it doesn't need to be like millions of paragraphs, but if you feel the need to flush your feelings and let them know, then go ahead and do that. So that'll pretty much get you where you need to be. Did you just have your shirt off? Yes, I just had my shirt off. I was there to do a shirtless video. So go back and watch this video if you missed my shirt being off. Will you take it back off? Okay, one more time. This is it. And then I'm ending my video. Coach Landry, what kind of guy are you when it comes to dating? Now, I think I already discussed this yesterday. I consider myself kind of like that gentleman type. There you go. Yeah, I consider myself a gentleman type. Yeah, gentleman type. I have a little bit of edge to me. I'm a pretty stern guy sometimes. I consider myself kind of a man of candor and confidence. So, all right, I got a couple more minutes. Let me see if there are any questions at the end of this. What's the best way to pick up a man? Ask him to do a favor for you. Plain and simple. If you're at a bar, go, I cannot find or I need to get some drinks for my girlfriends. Can you hold my jacket for me, please? He has to be chivalrous, instant connection. What's the best way to pick up a woman? Compliment her eyes or compliment her style. If you compliment her eyes, it's something she can't change, so she knows you love something about her that is her. And if you compliment her style, you're telling her you love her choices. So, all right. I hope that helps you guys. So this was a great story. I hope the story of Jordan being the story of success and the story of the other ones were good for you. So maybe that'll work for you next time. But remember, if you love somebody and right now you're going through something hard where you're separated or whatnot, don't have doubt. What is the song playing in the background? Can you hear that? It's called Wanting You Forever. It's a great song. So I'll let you listen to it a couple. Yeah, good rhythm. Well, I hope you like the song. Can I hear a little more of it before you go? Okay. I'll tell you what, I'll let it play for 30 seconds while I put my shirt on. Correct. I don't know. Could be. Thanks for tuning in. No, I normally do not take my shirt off. In fact, I coach men not to take photos with shirts off, but this was for a charity. So, yes, Me, Joe Black is one of my favorite movies. And New York, well, I hope to go during Christmas, maybe. Yes, I am really going to try to go to Paris and Venice, and I've always wanted to see Versailles. Yeah, Versailles is just I've seen the show of Versailles, and it just really makes me attracted to it. I love the French cuisines and stuff like that. So, correct. Yeah. Write me a letter. No, the lyric is, "You've been wanting me forever, and we just can't say goodbye." Basically, it's someone saying, "We're going to get back together. We're never saying bye." So, anyways, I hope this was great for you guys. I've really been wanting to read that letter from Jordan for a while. I hadn't, talked to her about reading it out. Once me and her talk, she was totally cool with it, and maybe I'll bring her on the show. I told her I'd like her to tell more about her story and our success in person. So, right. And if you want to talk to me personally about something you got going on in your life, you can contact me at the link below. Yes, I do business coaching as well. Starting your own business coaching, stock investing coaching, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, I'm a little bit, you're a jack of all trades. I like to think so. Okay. Well, I hope this guy helped you guys again. And I will talk to you soon.